Good evening and thank you for joining us. We're going to begin in our nation's capital tonight. Most of the convoy of truckers has now gathered in Ottawa. The number of people still lower than was initially claimed. While the focus was initially on vaccine mandates required for truckers, it's now grown far beyond that, with a number of other groups sharing their political views and disdain for health restrictions. Fishing Limo has more from Ottawa.
Hundreds on Parliament Hill quickly grew into thousands by the afternoon.
I'm a Canadian! My son should be free!
The convoy said they came to Parliament Hill to protest vaccine mandates for truckers, but the crowd had other reasons for being there.
Freedom!
Calling for the Prime Minister to step down and put an end to all health restrictions.
We're gonna win! We're gonna win! We're gonna defeat you, Trudeau!
My body, my choice. I want freedom to do what I want with my body. It's not my employer's job to tell me what to do with my body. It's not my government's job to tell me what to do with my body.
My husband has been put on unpaid leave of absence from work because he refuses to get the shots. So it's hard.
There was an increased police presence and security to make sure the crowds stay under control. While loud, it was mostly peaceful.
Most of the people involved don't want to cause a problem. But as always, some will come in that have an agenda, and the agenda has nothing to do with trucking, has nothing to do with vaccines. They just go wherever there's a protest so they can break windows and cause problems.
Ottawa's downtown core is usually quiet on the weekend, but the convoy has forced the streets into a gridlock, with city police saying vehicles were being directed away. Some businesses normally opened instead chose to close their doors today. Those that did stay open had lineups of people out the door, with many not wearing a required face mask.
A lot of people kind of think for themselves. They don't think about protecting their family, their loved ones, the people in the hospital.
The Canadian Trucking Alliance has distanced itself from the convoy. They have called for peace during these protests, adding their behavior in the coming days will reflect on the rest of the trucking industry. Fishing Limo, CTV News, Ottawa.
Okay, so as you heard there, the protests largely peaceful so far, although we are getting some reports that have come in late this afternoon, one revolving a statue of Terry Fox in the nation's capital, some protesters placing an upside-down Canadian flag, some anti-Trudeau signs placed on that statue as well. That has upset the mayor of Fox's hometown of Port Coquitlam, BC, Brad West, calling that totally disrespectful, saying it doesn't matter what your political views are, you do not involve a statue of Terry Fox. We're also hearing reports of some protesters dancing on the tomb of the unknown soldier. Chief of Defense Staff General Wayne Eyre saying he is absolutely sickened to see that. Reporters having some things thrown at them as well. So we will no doubt learn more over the coming days about some of the reaction and some of the aftermath of those protests. Well, back here at home, there is some bad news for local curling fans who've been hoping to watch the Scotties in person at the Fort William Gardens. Curling Canada announced today that it will not sell any tickets, even for the playoffs. There had been hope that up to 500 fans at a time would be allowed to attend next weekend after Ontario's current restriction banning all fans from sporting events expires. In a media release issued this afternoon, the event's governing body says while it too had been hoping to do that, it's simply not going to be possible given the logistics and staffing that would be necessary to accommodate fans. Curling Canada CEO Catherine Henderson saying, quote, "After careful thought and consideration, the risks of opening the venue after establishing protocols were not favorable in keeping all participants safe." She went on to say, "We can't thank the local organizing committee enough for all of its work in getting this year's event off the ground under these difficult circumstances." St. Patrick High School's grade 12 drama class has come up with a safe way to share an upcoming musical production. The young actors have been performing scenes from Madagascar, a musical adventure junior, in front of a local film crew. The class has been working closely with Westfort Productions, which will later edit the video for family, friends, and other students to see. The musical itself has been 3 months in the making, and Thursday marked the start of filming. The class recorded audio the previous week with help from One Island Productions. And while the change from a live audience to a film crew has been different, the students have been able to make the most of it and are still having a lot of fun.
So we've been actually really lucky to do a lot of cool up-close shots where we can feature students and get them featured for their lines, even though they're wearing masks.
Since grade 9, I've dreamed of performing one in front of a live audience, but we've adapted and it's going to be great.
It's definitely different, but it's still great, still fun. Everyone's having such a great time. And yeah, we're really excited to bring it to families in their homes.
The Madagascar musical production will be available to watch on YouTube sometime in February. The Superior Ice Riders are preparing to take to the ice at the Red Rock Marina opener. The riders have been out on the track already to get in some practice before the season begins. Even though the recent temperatures have been well below normal riding conditions, they were still able to get some laps in at the Red Rock Oval. The ice bikes are required to have a kill tether in case they get separated from the bike, ice guard tires, and most importantly, studded tires. They have about 300 to 500 studs each, depending on the class. Superior Ice Rider President Alex Torma says due to COVID, there's been a smaller turnout the last couple of years, but he hopes to see at least 10 to 20 riders this season. And with ice itself serving as the track, Torma says so far, the weather has cooperated.
The weather's looking favorable. We got some really good ice here in Red Rock. It's nice and thick. We haven't had too much snow, so there's not too much plowing to be had or anything like that. We're still waiting for Thunder Bay to freeze up out at Lakeview Lodge there, so hopefully in the next few weeks we can get some ice out there as well. But the track is beautiful here in Red Rock, and we're looking forward to some good racing.
The first race will take place at the track in Red Rock on February 6th. Followed by a featured event at that same venue on February 13th. The Superior Ice Riders will then make their way to Lakeview Lodge on March 13th for the Bobby Powell Memorial Races. The sport of ice fishing has never looked more stylish thanks to Vaughn Murray. The Rainy River resident is gaining some buzz across North America after turning his limousine into an ice fishing shack. Corey Nordstrom has more on the newest tourist attraction in the border town.
Most limousines spend their days transporting celebrities or high schoolers to prom, but not Vaughn Murray's 94 Buick. The retiree from Rainy River has converted his working limo, given to him by a neighbor, into a makeshift heated ice fishing shack.
I thought it's set up in there, 2 benches, you're facing each other. I mean, all I had to do is cut the holes in the floor, drill the holes in, and you're fishing.
For $100, a group of 4 can spend the day on the river, with Murray supplying all the necessary equipment and probably a laugh or two.
I got the rods, I got the bait, and I'll show you how to do it, and it's not much to it. Fishing's fishing.
And the former railroad conductor says business has taken off since he started rentals just a couple of weeks ago.
I'm getting bookings every day. I think I've got 10 or 12 bookings already for the next couple of weeks. Yeah, everybody's just excited about it. I haven't had a bad word about it. Everybody's just, it's something different, and that's what people are looking for.
His granddaughter Danny Burbeck says her phone has also been lighting up with praise for the limo, though Murray's unique creation isn't too much of a surprise for locals.
They know Grandpa as, doing a lot of crazy ideas like this. So, I mean, it's not like a huge out-of-nowhere idea that nobody would think of.
The 71-year-old's previous claim to fame was winning the National Enquirer's Ugly Mug contest more than a dozen years ago, but he is glad his newest step into the limelight is getting more people acquainted with ice fishing.
One guy said, hey, if I catch 1 fish in a limousine, I'm happy, so it's just a good time.
The ice fishing limousine has been such a hit that Murray's going to keep it going. He says eventually he'll let his grandkids take over the business so that future visitors of Rainy River can put on their tuxedos and gowns and drop a line. Corey Nordstrom, TVT News.
What a character there. That is the way to do it if you're going to ice fish. Well, we may have to send a few of those to the United States. A powerful winter storm with near hurricane force winds is lashing the northeast coast of the U.S., bringing bitter cold and heavy snowfall.
I think there's probably maybe 100 outages right now, but we're watching this carefully with the winds picking up. That could be a substantial issue.
The storm is hitting parts of 10 states, including major cities like New York and Boston. Nearly 50 centimeters of snow has fallen so far, which has caused some coastal flooding with wind gusts well over 100 kilometers an hour. New York Governor Kathy Hochul is urging everyone to stay inside and ride out the storm.
Even though there might be a little break or you start seeing a little clearing, don't be misled by that. There could be a gust of wind that creates whiteout conditions while you're out in the store running to get that last gallon of milk you want to get. Hopefully everybody gets these in advance. This is not a time to be out there shopping. But the good news is that we know the timing of this, and it will abate over the next few hours, next few days for sure when cleanup starts.
Well, 50 centimeters, Kurt, that is a lot of snow even for us here in Canada. Obviously, we got some bad news today with the Scotties. Fans were hoping to be able to attend next weekend for the playoffs. That's not going to happen now. And especially since Kristen McCarville and her Northern Ontario rink off to a good start.
A very good start, Ryan. Yeah, it's unfortunate. We're going to have to watch from home for the rest of the tournament. But yeah, we've got all the content you'll need after the break. We'll recap last night's game, today's game, and preview